Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to our G3 class. Today it will be our 37th lesson, inshallah. So may I please request ST to choose a student for me for the opening prayer.
Assalamu alaikum. I would request G3 519 to kindly unmute their mic.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. That's G3 519?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please make sure that your background is not noisy, it's quiet, please?
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري. Lord, expand my mind and make my task easy for me. Taha 26-27.
Jazakumullah. So that's from chapter Taha, verse 26 to 27. Jazakumullah. G3 519, well recited. As I said, today our lesson will be 37th lesson, inshallah. We are heading very close to our finish of the G3 class. I hope you have learned a lot in this during this time. Today is about the verses 65 till 70 of Surah Ar-Rahman that we're focusing on. So just before I go into that, I would like to remind everybody that make sure you have a quiet place to sit down and there's no background noise, because otherwise you will be distracted. Make sure you're wearing clean clothes, your head is covered, you've done wudu, and you're sitting with a parent, okay? So that if you have any major questions that can't be answered right away, it can be answered by your parents. You can ask them and they can guide you through. And please make sure you are here with your correct IDs. Otherwise, your attendance will not be marked. I can see one name that is one person that has come with their name. Can you please rename yourself to the correct ID that has been provided to you in your email at the start of the lesson, G3 class. Jazakumullah. All right. So before we start, this time we're going to start with a rule. A new rule that some of you might know of, and some of you it might be a new rule for. However, whenever we're reciting the Holy Quran, I've seen that we've always been following this rule. So just to make it raise awareness of what this rule is. The rule is called mad-leen, okay, or soft elongation. Mad means elongation, leen means soft, or to soften, or to ease, right? So as I mentioned, you can see on the screen the two letters, waw and ya, and they both have sukoon on top, all right? I hope everybody can see it. So pay attention. So we have waw sakin, we have ya sakin, all right? So this rule is only observed when waw sakin or ya sakin is preceded by a maftu letter. So what is a maftu letter? A maftu letter is any letter that is carrying a fatha sign, all right? So let me show you what I mean by that. So you can see this word here in the middle. My cursor is here. The ta here, the letter ta is carrying fatha on top, and that's why it will be called a maftu letter, okay? And after that, we have ya sakin, all right? That means that in this case, our mad-leen, the rule will apply, because why? Because ya sakin is being preceded by a maftu letter. In this case, we have ta. So how do you think we'll pronounce it? We'll pronounce it strongly, and we'll elongate it for at least 2 seconds. Okay. So may I please request ST to choose a student for me so that we can practice?
Yes, I will unmute G3 515.
G3 515. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, no response. G3 521.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. So G3 515.
I'm G3 521.
All right. Okay. G3 521. That is, I've noted you down. Okay. So have you understood the rule?
Yes.
All right. So let's pronounce this word here.
Rain.
Can you see the word here?
Second one. Al-Jan. Second one.
Al-Jannatayn.
Well done. Excellent. Perfect. So what you've done here, you've done tayin, right? So
Yes.
well done. That's exactly what the rule says. So you have to prolong the ya sakin, but you have to do it in a soft manner. Okay, which you've done here. Tayin, that you can see that slide. So tayin, right? So that's what the rule says. Mashallah, well done. Try this one now. This time we have waw sakin preceded by a ya that's carrying a fatha on top. So we call this a maftu letter. Let's try this one then.
Okay. Yawma
Well done, excellent. So here again, you prolonged it softly. Well done. So it's yo. That softness that comes when you say yo, that's exactly what madilin is, or soft elongation. Jazakumullah. Let's try one more word, shall we? This one, here you can see the cursor.
Okay. Bayna.
Excellent. Well done. That's great. Jazakumullah G3 521. I hope everybody has understood it. I have one more student to actually confirm if they've understood. So can I please have one more student?
Yes. G3 670.
Okay. G3 670. Wa alaikum assalam. All right.
How are you?
So I'm good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, good.
Alhamdulillah. So have it listen carefully to the rule.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you understand? Would you like to tell me what the rule is for Madalene?
So for Madeline, you need to prolong it for 2 seconds, and you also need to prolong it soft.
Well done. In what conditions? In what conditions does this become relevant, this rule? How do you know that you have to do it softly here?
When there's a wa sakin and a ya sakin.
Excellent. Perfect. And what happens to them? So what about the letter before them? How do they affect them?
So if there's a letter that has a fataha on top,
Excellent.
and then the next letter will be a ya sakin, and
Excellent.
and if
Yeah, you're about right. Well done. Yeah, that's exactly it. So when we have a maftu letter, or the letter carrying fatha, and then after that we have ya or waw sakin, then the rule of madilin applies. We have to prolong it for 2 seconds, but softly. Okay. Jazakumullah. Excellent. Okay, we'll move on to our lesson of today. Can I please have a student ST for the translation, please?
Yes. I will request G3 509 for it.
Okay. G3 509. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
All right. Would you please just read the translation for us all, please?
In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. Dark green with foliage, which then
of the favors of
Yep.
your Lord will you to deny. Therein also will be two springs gushing forth with water, which then of the favors of your Lord will you to deny. In both of them there will be all kinds of fruit and dates and pomegranates. Which then of the favor of your Lord will you to deny?
Jazakumullah. Very well recited, G3509. Jazakumullah for that. Now, as always, we're going to move on to our split word translation so that you can actually understand what the Arabic words mean in separation, and it will help you in memorization. So please pay attention, okay? Let's. All right. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So, مدهامتان. It means two dark green with foliage or plant leaves, all right? فبأي means which then. آلاء of the favors. ربكما of your Lord. Rab means Lord. So ربكما of your Lord. تكذبان will you two deny. So this is in a form of a question, a rhetorical question, right? So then the next one is fi, which means in. Hima, both of them. Aynan, there will be two fountains. So the words in brackets is used so that the sentence can make sense, all right? Nazokhatan, which means gushing forth with water. That's just to make it make sense. That's the end of the verse. Now the next verse is the repeated verse again. So fabi'ayyi, which then? Ala'i, of the favors. Rabbikuma, of your Lord. Tukadhiban, will you to deny. Fihima, in there. First there was fi, which means in. So now fihima, in there will be fakihatun, all kinds of fruits. So fakihatun, which means fruit. Wa, and nakhlun, dates. Wa, and rumman, which means pomegranates, the fruit. That's a fruit as well. Then again, fabi'ayyi, which means which then. Ala'i, sorry, of the favors. Rabbikuma, of your Lord. Tukadhiban, will you two deny. Okay, so I hope it's clear now. May I please request Steve to choose a student for me so that we can actually practice these verses?
Yes. Next student will be G3 530.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
G3 523. So we will give her a chance.
No worries. So that was G3 523, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
All right. So G3 523. May I please request you to recite these verses for us, please?
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mudhamatan. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما عينان نضاختان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما فاكهة والنخل والرمان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Excellent. MashaAllah. Overall, Very well recited. So now let's repeat. Would you like to please repeat after me now? Okay. So let's start from Tarus, which is here. Oh, sorry. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
مدهامتان.
مدهامتان.
Okay, no, 1 second again. So meme, it has what on top? What's the sign that you can see on top of the meme here?
Shadda.
Do you know?
Yes.
Excellent, well done. Yep, it's exactly shadda. So when you do the when there's a shadda, you have to give a jerk, right? And in this case, what's happening is that we have to join this alif with this meme that has a tashdid on top. So we have to give, so when we're joining it, we have to give a lot of emphasis on this meme, all right? So prolong this alif because we have madde kabir here. So at least 4 seconds. And after you actually prolong it, then you have to join with the meme with an emphasis. So let's try again. مدهامتان. So you can see that emphasis I gave on the meme.
مدهامتان.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. So once more.
مدهامتان.
Okay, well, it could still be improved, but let's move on. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Okay. فيهما عينان نضاختان.
فيهما عينان نضاختان.
Okay, I think the connection is not that good, so I'm not able to hear. I didn't hear this last word, but let's move on. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Okay. فيهما فاكهة ونخل ورمان.
فيهما فاكهة والنخل والرمان.
Well done. And then the verse is repeated again. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Excellent. Jazakumullah. Jazakumullah. Okay. So in these verses that we have introduced now, that's in today's lesson, let me just point out some of the rules that we have done already. Okay. So we can see here that we have dal with sakun on top. So there will be a qalqala here. So there will be a jerk on the dal. Mud. All right. mud, that at the end you can see that jerk. There will be a jerk in the dal. Then in alif, we have mad kabir on top, so prolong it for at least 4 seconds. And you're going to join it with mim, with shadda on top. So 2 things will happen. One is that you give emphasis to when you're joining the alif and mim together. And the second is, because we have mim with shadda, we have to give a nasal sound, okay? For 2 seconds. So hold the noon sound for 2 seconds as well. Okay. Okay, now ST, may I please have a student, please?
Yes. Next student will be G3 625.
Sorry, I couldn't get the name.
G3 625.
Okay. G3625, Assalamu alaikum.
They haven't unmuted. Okay. G3
Okay.
638.
G3638. Wa alaikum assalam. All right. So today we learned about this new rule called Maddeleen.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to point out in these verses that we have learned, where can you see an example of Maddeleen?
Aynani, in the third verse. Is it verse 67?
Excellent. So where? Yes, that's it. Well done. 67. So you're right, mashallah. Well done. So we have ayn, which has a fatha on top, so we call it a maftu letter. Then we have ya, with sukoon on top after it, right? And therefore there will be maddeleen. And what do you have to do in this case?
When you have to say a instead of a.
Well done. So you have to, so the soft part, you have to pronounce it softly. But how long do you have to prolong it for?
Is it 2 seconds?
Excellent. Well done. It is 2 seconds. Is there any other place that you can see maddeleen being applied here?
In verse 69, fihima, and in 67 as well. No, that's yeah, no.
Did you say here?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me how. How can you see the maddeleen rule?
Oh wait, no, that's wrong.
Yeah, well done. You realize well done, because the fa here, the fe here, this letter, it carries kasra, not fatha. Okay, and that's why this rule would not apply. So jazakumullah, well done, well spotted. G3638, jazakumullah. Now we will move on to our hifz part of the lesson. So let's go into our hifz. May I please ask ST to choose a student for me?
Yes, the first student for hifz will be G3 674.
Okay. G3674, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? G3674?
There's no response. So next will be G3 687.
Assalamu alaikum.
G3687, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. All right. How many verses have you memorized in total?
60.
60, mashallah. And how many of them have you come up on the mic to recite before?
40 or 50.
Okay, all right.
Assalam.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
क्या हाल है?
ये
Hello?
G3625.
Okay, she is late. Please wait for your turn.
Okay, please. कर देना क्यों?
Next will be her turn. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry for that disturbance, G3687. All right, let's start from, let me see. So you've said you've learned up to verse number 60. Would you like to start from verse number 50 for us? I'll remind you of what that verse starts with. Actually, 51, sorry. So it starts from فيهما, okay? فيهما.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فيهما عينان تجريان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما من كل فاكهة.
Sorry, G3687. Sorry, can you please stop here? ST, could you please confirm? Can you hear the student properly?
What?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I think there's a problem with my connection.
Mhm.
Give me 1 second, please.
If you say she can restart from the first verse.
Should I restart?
Please wait for a while. Okay, MT, should she start now?
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry. I couldn't hear you back then. Okay, would you please like to start again? I'm so sorry for that.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فيهما عينان تجريان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما من كل فاكهة زوجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
We are heading towards the end of the class, and your homework is to memorize Surah Ar-Rahman, verse 65 to 70, which we recited today, which we learned today. And you also have to revise all previous verses of Surah Ar-Rahman, which are from verse 1 to 64. So this makes altogether 70 verses of Surah Ar-Rahman. Okay. And for knowledge quest, you have to find out that how many examples of vowleen can you find in Surah Ar-Rahman verses 1 to 70. So you can find as many examples of vowleen as you can, okay? Within these 70 verses. So this will be your homework. And now I will request G3 510 to please recite the concluding prayer. G3 510.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah. Okay, please recite the concluding prayer after Tabuz and Taslim.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم. Oh Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran. واجعله لي إماما ونورا